Every business wants to be compliant, but when they say just the basics, what do they really mean? In accounting, the basics start with bookkeeping and the general ledger. In health and safety, it starts with a risk assessment. And yet, we often see business owners prioritize their books and neglect their health and safety risks. Today, we'll unpack why that mindset needs to change. Welcome to My Safety Hub, where we break down complex safety concepts into practical solutions for your workplace. I'm Ockert Fourie, and today's episode is sponsored by Safety Wallet, offering subscription-based solutions that empower individuals and businesses to create and maintain safe workplaces so everybody can get to go home at the end of the day. Let's start by looking at what constitutes the basics in any business. In finance, this means bookkeeping, recording income and expenses, maintaining a general ledger, balancing accounts, ensuring traceability for audits, and complying with revenue services and financial legislation. No business owner would argue against the importance of these financial fundamentals. But when we shift to health and safety, the basics are equally foundational: identifying hazards, assessing risks, documenting tasks, applying controls, and creating a traceable safety system. The parallel is clear. Both systems protect the organization, just in different ways. One protects us financially and the other protects physical and legal harm. It's interesting how differently businesses treat these two areas, though. Financial compliance is non-negotiable, while safety compliance is often viewed as optional until something goes wrong. To understand why risk assessments are so crucial, let's first look at why the general ledger is considered sacred in accounting. The general ledger is where everything comes together. Every financial decision is tied to it. It gives visibility, traceability, and proof of financial activity. It guides the accountant's decisions and provides the foundation for all financial reporting. Without a general ledger, there's no audit trail, no compliance with financial regulations, and ultimately no business sustainability. No financial professional would ever suggest operating without one. In the same way, a risk assessment is the first place a safety practitioner looks to understand what could go wrong in the business, what's being done about it, and who's responsible for managing those risks. Now let's make this comparison even clearer. In accounting, you have the general ledger. In safety, you have your risk assessment. Accountants make journal entries and safety professionals document tasks. Income and expense categories in finance are like hazards and risk ratings in safety. A trial balance in accounting is similar to a residual risk evaluation in safety. Both show your current standing. And just as financial controls protect against fraud or errors, safety controls like engineering solutions, personal protective equipment, and standard operating procedures protect against incidents. Finally, an auditor's check in finance is comparable to an inspector's review or post-incident investigation in safety. Both examine whether your system is working as intended. You wouldn't sign off your year-end books with no ledger, so why would we assume compliance is possible with no risk assessment? So, we've established that both systems are equally important, but there's clearly a disparity in how they're prioritized. Let's talk about why accounting gets all the attention. First, it's tied directly to money and the fear of revenue services and their consequences. There are immediate consequences like penalties and failed audits if you don't keep proper financial records. And importantly, financial compliance is built into the culture of a business. It's something everyone understands, and everybody understands what needs to happen. But health and safety is often neglected because it's seen as red tape or someone else's job. The consequences are delayed until an incident occurs. And there's this pervasive culture of nothing's happened yet, so why worry? When in reality, that's like saying, I haven't been audited yet, so why keep receipts? Here's the hard truth. Not paying tax will cost you money, but failing to assess your risks, that could cost someone their life or your entire business. Let's bring this home with a practical example using what safety professionals call the Swiss cheese model. Imagine you run a manufacturing plant with a spray booth. In your risk assessment, you identify the hazards: chemical exposure, fire risk, and respiratory damage. Your controls, your slices of cheese, might include ventilation systems, fire suppression equipment, respirators, and training procedures. But what if you skip documenting one task, like cleaning the spray nozzles? You might miss the chemical exposure risk during maintenance. That's a hole in your cheese. Or consider a simple wet floor in a restaurant. Your risk assessment identifies the slip hazard, and your controls include wet floor signs, quick cleanup procedures, and non-slip footwear. But if you haven't fully assessed the risk, perhaps missing that the mop storage area itself gets slippery, you've got another hole in the cheese. Each missing piece of your risk assessment is like missing data in your ledger. You can't balance your books or your risks if you're not recording what you think matters. Start with your tasks, document them, identify your hazards, and stack your slices of cheese before the holes line up and someone gets hurt. A risk assessment isn't just paperwork, it's the general ledger of safety. It tells the story of how you protect people and how you prevent harm. If you're serious about compliance, don't start with checklists, start with risk. Build your safety system on the solid foundation of knowing what could go wrong and planning to prevent it. Thanks for tuning into My Safety Hub. Remember, Safety Wallet offers subscription-based solutions to help you create and maintain a safe workplace, because everyone deserves to go home healthy and safe after work. Join me next time when we'll be discussing more health and safety insights for you. And as always, stay safe, stay inspired, and until next time, take care.